everybody, to Off the Record, Airtable Secrets and Lore. We got Nacho hanging out on the couch, and we are a group of Airtable users exploring new ways to use Airtable to optimize our businesses and lives. We're open to hearing from anyone about your experience, good or bad, using Airtable to make a positive impact in the world. We attempt to promote people coming from any level to share ideas or ask questions. We also share our experiences, tips, and practices, and offer ways to get help and get involved in the community. We meet every other Wednesday from 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And to kick things off, I think this week we are going to be demoing Kuvan's new app. And I know we also have some updates about the in-person Airtable conference that Chris and I are hosting in Austin, Texas, April 8th and 9th at the Capital Factory. Kuvan, what is the new app called?
Well, did you want to talk about the conference first?
Yeah. I just wanted the name. If I remember,
the name of it.
My Record.
It's called My One Record.
My One Record.
And I'll explain why it's called that when I do the demo.
Sweet.
I have a scoop.
We have other news.
I'm just saying I have an Airtable scoop. I don't know if I'll get in trouble.
What is the scoop?
What is getting in trouble but gotten in your way?
Something, Ben, I haven't told you. So I have it. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble if I say this because I don't know if it's a secret or not. But the head of product at Slack has joined Airtable.
Wow.
It's under good authority. And I don't know if it's public record. I just checked their LinkedIn right now, and they are still listed as an advisor for Airtable. But
what does
not say they're running product. I've heard they're running product, which was strange because I was told this person's, they ran product at Slack. They're going to take us so far in the next year. And I thought to myself, isn't the guy who built Microsoft or Facebook Messenger? I mean, doesn't that look... So I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's a rumor. I mean, obviously the person who told me works at Airtable.
Is Airtable going to become a communication tool?
No. But I think it bodes well for the scalability moving forward.
Because I think they're just going to have the best comment section on each record ever.
Can you imagine having the best comment section ever? We need a breakout session at the event for comment management. All right, no. So that's the only news I have. We can get on to Kuvan's record or anything you want.
So updates on the conference. We'll start there with news, and then we'll go into My One Record.
So I have so many exciting updates. So we've been in contact with Airtable. Airtable is joining us officially as a sponsor, as well as some other people. I'll go over those in a second. Airtable has been so supportive. Just wonderful. Met with their head of marketing, the whole bit. But before we get into the deep dive, I had a new development today. So today, a very active Airtabler out of London, Nathan Hogan. The conference has kind of been blowing up on the LinkedIns. People are really enjoying the conference updates on LinkedIn for some reason. A lot of people who are big Airtablers have reached out to me, etc. But he's interested in hosting a Daretable 2022 in London. So if you're on the continent, on the European continent, and you don't want to come to Austin, there's a good chance we might have an event there. But on to the actual updates. So some big updates this week.
There's a lot of people that watch the show that are from the UK too, and that's their biggest observance about our show is that we don't have offerings for European time zones. So this is the perfect.
My first thought was, how do we cross that bridge with Cerulean? Episode number 21, Cerulean. I don't even know what was the episode. Kuvan, do you remember Cerulean?
No, I don't think I've heard of that before. What is it?
Cerulean,
I think a color.
Right, that's what I think of too. But Cerulean is an active singer and I'd say local phenomena, younger person, probably in his 20s, early 30s, could be younger, I'm not sure. Easy on the eyes, wonderful voice. Has a little following that he's got records and tapes and things he sells, but loves Airtable. And he's been working on, or at that point had been working on a system to manage his own career in Airtable, but then he wanted to do it for other recording artists. He was on the show one time.
Sounds cool.
We're all, it's one, I don't subscribe to a lot of YouTubes, but I subscribe to his. So I'm always getting Cerulean going live in 3 minutes and he's about to sing. So other big updates, some of the stuff won't be exciting to you guys. I thought London's kind of exciting for those of you. We're up at about 15% of our tickets. So we only have about 150 tickets we can sell, maybe 200 if we squeeze a few more people in there. So we sold about 15 of them. So we're doing remarkably well in the last 10 days. The site now is hosted on its own domain. So we officially daretable.com. So we're no longer daretable.pori.app, which I was super, super excited about. And then probably the most important thing I can share today is we have our first round of speakers. So we have Andrea Zhu, Kelly Tenko, Kavan, how do you say your last name?
Borgerbrogen.
Borgerbrogen, that's a really good name. Mickey McLaughlin, Quang, is it Bai?
I think it's B.
B?
Or maybe Bowie.
Bowie? We've got the generic Daretable speaker and of course myself and Ben because we're both doing stuff. But this is really great. So if you want to learn more about our speakers, you can go to the site, you can click on one of the names, you can read a little bit about them, go to their web home, or that might be LinkedIn, might be our website, we don't know. But I would like everyone to look at this site. Again, we are nailing the underrepresented speakers at conferences. This is a big deal for me. As a gay man, I always get told by conference organizers, we hired you and we loved your story and stuff, but we were so happy you were gay. And I'm like, why? Why does it make a difference to my story? We needed more diversity. And all of a sudden I feel like Noah's Ark, like I'm being herded into something. But seriously though, I mean, this is, to me, I was really happy about this. All really, really great people. Kavan, I want everyone to know, Kavan was actually suggested 2 sessions. So we had to pick. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get Kavan to do another session. Any feedback, guys, on the speakers so far?
There is obviously a spot. Daretable speaker is not a person. So if we are still accepting applications, if you would like to be a speaker.
No, right here it says we are looking for inspiring rock stars to bring your A games. That's why I left. This was our original speaker. This is who started the whole thing. This is my Motley Fool. So yeah, he's there. But yeah, if you are interested in speaking, there's a speaker application. We are paying every single person. Kavan actually, like I said, wanted put in 2 submissions. I thought she just wanted $1,000, but no, she actually just wanted us to have flexibility. That was me like overthinking.
Yeah.
It.
Well, I don't want to speak 2 times because I want to be able to hear these other people who are talking too.
Right, and it doesn't matter your I get expertise. So we've got 3 different, like an easy track, medium track, and a more advanced track. So no matter where you are on the Airtable spectrum, we are open to you. Next big announcement, some of you may have saw in the Facebook group and other places, we've announced the official Daretable 2022 awards. And these awards are really kind of important to me because a lot of times I know you guys have seen in the Facebook group, I'm sure you've done your own Googling. Everybody wants to know who's a good consultant. Or what app should I use for this? Or what should I use, Stacker versus Pori versus Softer? Everyone's got something. Or I've created this really cool base, I want to show it to you. And I thought to myself, why don't we let people decide? Why don't we let people decide? So the Daretable 2022 awards, now becoming annual, are live. The way it works is you can come in here and you can say, I want to nominate a consultancy, and the consultancy might be your consultancy, might be a consultancy you've worked with, something else like that. But once you nominate, you'll see there's a lovely form down here, a lovely form up top. People can come in and read about that consultancy, learn more, and but most importantly, they can vote on that consultancy. But maybe you don't have a consultancy. Maybe you have a favorite app. Kavan makes apps. Come in here very quickly. You can click on that app, learn about that app, learn more. But most importantly, you can come in here and vote on that app. Maybe it's not an app. Maybe you have a add-on solution like Pori, like Air Connects, like Air Contact apps. So we know, we've heard of all these mini extensions. Everybody's got their favorites. But I think it'd be fun if we had people actually vote and say it. And we'll actually give away little awards for these. And last but not least, I love Airtable Universe, but it is just darn useless. Like I just need something a little bit more living. So what I've done is I've actually created a separate award for a base and for the Airtable base of the year. And of course, I nominated my very own journaling base called Caretable. So if you've got a base you really loved, screenshot it, take a video, share it, let people vote on it, etc. Any questions about speakers or awards before we get on for this week's update?
I've always been curious how Pori tracks the upvoting system. Like, is it a field in Airtable that has that number? And it just adds one to it each time?
It's an integer field, and instead of for the button type, you use vote button, and it increments it by one.
So is there anything there to prevent abuse?
No.
I probably could type in 1,000 for mine.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, someone with access to the back end could actually be really abusive. Like, but no, there's nothing stopping Gap Consulting from coming in and clicking. Now, if you're in the same web session, obviously it's not going to work.
Okay.
But if you
someone can't just go in there and just click, 100 times on the same upvote button.
No, trust me, I've tried. I want to win basically.
I think we just try not to talk about those things.
Yeah, but if you're gonna break a product, it should break on our show. That's how I'm thinking about it. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited about that. And again, I think the other thing is it allows people who can't be in person in Austin to have a way to interact with everything. Plus, isn't it cool to have a voting system, vote every year? Next, sponsor. So we've been really lucky. Airtable's on as an official sponsor. Like I said, I've got some exciting things going to be announcing about them. I saw today a preview of one of the things they're looking at. Super, super fun. Dan was our first sponsor we had on. We got to talk to him a little bit more about what he wants to do. And of course, Pori is on officially now as a sponsor. And we have our last year's sponsors on here as well.
Yay!
Yeah, I think, Kavan, were you in here last year as a sponsor?
I was not a sponsor last year. I was just a speaker.
Just a speaker. Well, the speakers are the most important part. And as everyone knows, the back end, so once you have a ticket to the conference or you're speaking at the conference, you're able to come into the app portion, which on Pori, I think Rebecca's here, is the internal system. And it allows you to come in here and look at, all the different sessions, look at all the different speakers, look at the sponsors, look at our public attendee list. So as you can see, there's Camille, she's public now. But what's really exciting about this is, as I've demoed in our very first time, if you come in here to the session, you can actually, your profile record, you can actually come and edit your profile record. So modify Airtable, everybody loves that. But most importantly, you can come in here and pick the sessions that you want to go to. So it fills out kind of your itinerary for the day. So that's it. That's all I have on the conference this week. I'm super excited. Ben will tell you. Ben, we've been working around the clock. Yes?
Yes, definitely. And I would also like to thank Chris, because he has put in, I don't even know how many hours into building the back end of the site and all the words on the site, weeks worth in the last 2 weeks, months worth. So
it's killing me.
Especially Chris.
It's killing me. But it's fun. It's get everyone involved. So yeah, that's it. Looking forward. Today is the last day for early bird pricing. So if you did not get in today, expect to pay $250 starting. I have to switch it, so I'll probably switch it on Fridays. You got one more day to get in at $200, but then the price is going to go up from there. We will have one push for just members of the group in a few weeks. So if you're kind of on the fence, don't worry too much about it. If you're a member of if you're a member of the Facebook group, there's about 6,000 of us. We will have a promo code in there for those. But most importantly, I want to say this because I haven't been able to add it to the website yet. If you're someone and you can get to Austin in any way, but you don't have the means to spend money on the ticket, I've been fortunate enough to authorize, through the graciousness of our sponsors, a handful of tickets for free. So reach out in the comments of this video, or going to the contact daretable.com/contact. Say, hey, I heard Chris say you got some tickets for people who might not be able to afford to actually buy a ticket, but could make it on a dog sled or cactus or pterodactyl, something. And we'll see if we can get you hooked up. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we can get you hooked up. That's it.
Or you could say, you could get to, if you can get there, you could be a speaker. And not only would you get hooked up, you could also get a nice little.
I mean, to me, I think it's a sweet deal. You get a free ticket and you get 500 hours to speak and all this kind of good stuff. And speaking scares them. Not everyone's got your talent, Kavan.
I am not a good speaker. I don't think. There was a lot of times where I was afraid to get up and talk in front of people. The problem that I had was I love Airtable so much that I'm like, come on, I've got to tell people about this. Just get over yourself and talk to people because I love Airtable so much and I want to share what I know about it.
Well, I would like to disagree. If you think I'm kidding, there's a video. Go to daretable.com/2020 and you can actually see Kavan speak from our first conference. So don't believe me. Don't think I'm just brown noser. You can go watch her speak right now. Okay.
So about the conference, can I say what my topic is going to be?
Please.
Okay, so I'm planning on talking about formulas. So at the last conference, I talked about all of the different ways that you can add code, which was to an Airtable base, which was you can use formulas, which if you look at it, they get complicated enough that can constitute as code, and scripting, and using the REST API and using custom apps. But now this is going to be, we're just focused on formulas and all the different ways what you can and can't do with formulas. And I was kind of wondering if there would be interest, if any people who might be attending the conference or might not be going to the conference have like a formula that they think is just kind of a bear, they wish it could be reworked a little bit. If I think there'd be interest in people submitting formulas that I could discuss their formulas in the session itself.
Oh man, do I have some code blocks for you, my friend.
Now, part of it is if you've got, like a 500-line formula, I can't spend that much time on it. But for example, if you have a formula you really like.
There is a fee. You could.
Like one of the things that I want to do is I want to show my way of formatting formulas so that they're easier to read. And if, for example, if someone has this formula that they like, but you think, hey, what would that look like if it was formatted Kavan's way? Then I could go through maybe and do that and show that. Or if there's other people that had.
I was just thinking about that, Kavan. I write all mine just like kind of like top of mind, like I'm just like typing, and it ends up being like 10 lines sometimes of formula. I would love if you had a way, maybe you do or maybe you don't, maybe it's impossible, but if you could take my block of formula and run it through an app and it makes it look pretty, and then I can just paste it back in and it still works.
Okay. I think someone actually wrote a script that was attempting to do that. I went through and I looked at that. As far as making it look pretty, I actually I don't go back and make mine look pretty. I write mine and I format it as I write it, and that makes it easier. As far as, being 10 lines long, when I'm done reformatting, it would probably be longer than that.
I think that the struggle for me with going like writing it and then doing it is I don't think Airtable has any good way for like error handling in a formula. So I write mine in like chunks. So I'll write like the first part of the formula, make sure there's no error. Then I'll wrap that around the next part of the formula, make sure there's no error, and just keep like building it until I get to what I'm looking for. And along that process, I can't hit like shift enter and tab to make it look pretty, because obviously that would mess up Airtable's like core.
Yeah. So I mean, what I'll do it is one of the prerequisites. So I submitted my description is going to say, if you bring your laptop and you want to do it, you also have to have a plain text editor. Now, if you have a laptop, you have a plain text editor. There's one that just comes with your OS, whether that's Windows or Mac or anything else. But sometimes people don't know how to get it. So if you want to like write a formula in my class before the session, go ahead and figure out how do you bring up that plain text editor. And I've got some techniques about how to write it. For example, well, I don't want to go to the details too much, but even if I'm just writing a lot of it across several different formula fields, I take that in and then I put it in my editor and format it. And it's pretty quick.
Awesome. Well,
I just want to give a big shout out to plain text editors. I don't think I could live my life without them. I do everything in plain text. Even if it ends up in a PowerPoint, I start in plain text. I can't take squiggles. I can't take anything that distracts you from getting words out of these or formulas.
I can say the one thing that I would really, if I had 30 minutes with Kuvan, that I would pick your brain about is regex.
Rebecca, you do know the easiest way to get 30 minutes of my brain, right?
Pay for it.
Maybe we'll find some time where, like, because I'm so looking forward to meeting people in person where we can sit and look at stuff. But honestly, if you want to pick my brain, book an appointment. Like, sometimes I even have to tell my friends, you have to go and book an appointment through Calendly if you want to talk with me. I don't make my friends pay for me, but they have to go through Calendly to try and get on my calendar.
Exactly. So tell us about this new app.
Okay, so this is a new app. This is my 7th app in the marketplace. And let's see. So shall I do a screen share?
Yes. And
Yes.
also at the end, I just remembered after Kuvan does her app demo, Airtable released double line charts and interfaces, which I think is a big step up because that was one of my biggest complaints when I first found Airtable, that they only had single line charts. But
Yeah,
I
they
just
also
wanted to
released
plant that
galleries and interfaces too, but I haven't played with it yet.
I just wanted to plant that seed for at the end.
Okay. I have an app I want to show too, not that type of app that I built.
But Kuvan's my one record. I'd love to see it.
My one
Okay,
record,
one
the
record.
one and true record.
So if we go down, this is the airtable.com marketplace. Are you seeing the screen share?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
And right now, Airtable has this thing where when your app is newly released, you get to be up here. So mine is the most recent released one here. It is my
Yay.
run record here. Got some screen captures. It's got a little video. I do recommend watching the video afterwards, but then you can just add it to your base, however here. And here is the base where I've got it. And the idea I had behind this is, sometimes I'm interested in only one record. I only care about that record and all of its linked records, and I don't want to look at everyone else. So I've got a little demo base that I put up here, and it's kind of silly. It's just got authors and books. So here are some of my authors that I read when I was a kid and some of the books that they've written. And they're all linked records. So for example, if you look over here in a regular grid view, you can see, okay, I've got all of these authors and I can see what books are associated with them. But if I want to look at just one particular one, I have to go and scroll through this list and find that particular one, or I have to change my filters or do something else like that. And it's kind of a pain. I don't want to look at it. I only want to see the one I'm interested in. What I wanted to have this button where I click this button, and you know what? I want Louisa May Alcott. I want to click that button and I want to just see Louisa May Alcott's records.
Like mini Wikipedia.
I want to see, L. Frank Baum and just his books. Click that button, and then I'm taking to only seeing those linked records. I don't have to search for it. I don't have to look through other ones.
That is so awesome.
So that's the purpose of it. And the idea is, so it's my one record because it is this one record that you're interested in, and then it takes you to the other linked records. It's also called my one record because if you'll notice here, I have a collaborator field that I've just named my one record, but actually it's just a collaborator field that has allow adding multiple collaborators turned on. And then when I click the button, so right now you can see this is me, this is Kuvan V. If I click Robert Louis Stevenson and I click that, and then let's go back here, you'll see now that my record, that this is me, my collaborator, is now for this one record and none of the other ones. If I was somewhere else, I'm not there anymore. I'm only in this one. So it tags my one record with me. And then what the app does, it says, then I'm going to switch to whatever view you configured it for. And my other view that it's switching to, what it does is it has a lookup field based on the linked record. And it says, well, who's this collab for? And then it's filtered. So I have a view that says when my record, it's me, is tagged in it. Okay. So this is authors and books. I actually use this every day, multiple times a day, because I have one that says, here are my projects and here are my tasks that are related to it. Here's my projects and here are the updates that I put on through it. And so when I'm bopping around from one project to the next, I just go to my projects tag and I say, this is the project I'm working on. And then I click the button, and then I can see all of my updates and tasks on that before.
That is genius. I need that for my Airtable systems.
Okay.
Like anything, like be able to, like right now I have a bunch of views made because I have some externally shared stuff that's just filtered, for example, for each client.
Mhm.
And just for me to open it up, maybe a good example would like open it up and see all the invoices for a client or all the communication for a client.
And for
Like-
just that client.
And yeah,
Yeah.
and not have to filter it or like add view 87 and
Mhm.
then filter view 87 so I can see.
And
I
then
have to have a whole view section just for external views, so I know not
Yeah.
to mess with them.
Mhm. Yeah, so the way this works is it's actually designed so that it can be used by multiple people. The one thing that you do need is that you need to have, so you have, here, let me go ahead and explain the setup. So if there's the base needs to have a linked record field. Well, actually, technically it doesn't need to have one. It works best when there's a link record field. You have to have a collaborator field that has allow adding multiple collaborators turned on. And then you have in your other view, you need to have a lookup field based on the link record. So authors is my link record, and then this is the lookup field. Now, you've probably heard me before. Anyone who knows me writing formulas, I say I hate lookup fields. They're really confusing. They mess up your formulas all the time. I only use lookup fields when you really have to have them. This is one of the cases when it has to be a lookup field.
I feel like
And then-
now, ever since you said that, I've only ever used them for single selects and I never use collaborator fields. So basically
Okay.
just single selects when you want
I
to.
never use
do
collaborators.
options.
you know what? I never used collaborator fields until this app, and I found that it was useful. The one thing where you do need is if you have multiple users, you have to have a new filtered view for each user. So when I am Kavan, this is mine, and it is filtered for Kavan. And when I am my alter ego, KV, then I use this filter view, and I would actually be able to click the same button, and it will take me to the different filtered views. So it has to be a different filtered view per collaborator because the filter for that view needs to be set to that collaborator. And then in the app, you'll notice that in the app, it gives a little summary for whichever button you clicked. The last one I clicked was Robert Louis Stevenson. So it gives a little preview. So what this does is when you're on that child record, you can, well, now they're not matched. Let me click the button so that they'll match. Okay, let's go with Jane Austen. So I'm looking at Jane Austen's child records, all of the little books, and I can see a little summary here of what the parent record is of whatever is the important things. We look at the settings here. So on all of my apps, we've got the first thing is the app license here, where you have to you pay an iLicense, you put in your license key in there, and then it activates the premium features. But then you figure it, the trigger table. So the trigger table here is wherever you want to put that button, and you have to select what the multiple collaborator fields is. Then in your fields in your preview, you can choose which fields you want to include in your preview. You can change the order of them if you like. This works the same way as it does in the Quick View app that I have. And then the next thing is your view table. So this is the table that you want to see after you click the button. So in this case, it's the books table, and then what view you want to make active. And in that case, it would be, whatever your filtered view is. The table is the same for everyone else, but everyone who's a different collaborator can go in and they can select a different view for themselves. And that's it. Then you just create the button field. You're going to say, I want to open a custom app, pick the dashboard that it's on, and pick that app. So that. One caveat that we do have is if your dashboards are like completely closed and you're not seeing it, the first time you click the button, sometimes it just loads that dashboard. Like if you're, say, on a different dashboard, the first time you click it, clicking the button just brings that dashboard up, and it's not actually going to change the view. So then you just have to click it a second time and it'll change the view. That's something that I've been going on, and this app was actually coded many, many months ago, and I was trying to work through with Airtable to see if there was some other way of getting it so you don't have to do that second click. But it is what it is right now. Any questions?
How do you feel this competes to opening up a interface record overview? Because that was released after the app.
It was released after I wrote this app. Quite frankly, I hope that they update interfaces so that this app becomes useless. I mean, I really would. But the problem that you have right now with interfaces is if you have a grid view that shows your linked records, you don't get this little plus button here. You can't just say, hey, I want to add another record right here.
Yep.
You know, if you don't have that, you can't say, okay, you know what, but I also want to look, I want a button that's going to run a script, or I want to look at my dashboards over here, or I just want to be able to jump around quickly. So what this does is it just lets you have all of that power of all of the features of a regular grid view right here without the clutter of all of the other records, without having to set up those filters.
Yeah.
So
that's really the challenge of the whole interface at times, because I really think that, you know, between the apps and then the grid view and then, you know, the views sidebar, there's just so much going on, you know? And I think what One Record does is it takes exactly what I want and makes it useful. It kind of has a flavor of Dan's kind of app that pulls like a record together really well, but this I think looks, I'll be honest with you, this looks a lot easier to get going.
Simpler. Yeah.
So Amplify is awesome. That's got a lot more features, but it kind of requires you to rebuild your interface, where the idea of this is, okay, you've already got a base that works, that you understand it. You just want to have this one little tweak to make it a little bit easier for that particular thing to use.
Yep.
So this is designed to be that little bit of add-on to your existing workflow.
Yep.
So,
that's cool. I love it.
Yeah,
I think another big benefit of this is it takes like 6 clicks to get out of Interface Designer versus here you're still in your base that you know how to use. Like
getting out of Interface Designer is like the maze at the end of The Shining. You just know Jack Nicholson's behind you with an axe. It is like click, click, and then you're just looking for back to base. It's like you do any, I need Ruby slippers. Like, get me out of this. And once you add like multiple views in Interface Designer, it's like even crazier.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I was wondering, do you have, would you like to try this out in one of your bases? Is there a base that you have that you wouldn't mind sharing, where you want to try this out? And I could give you a free premium license? Oh, let me explain one thing about the premium license. It works exactly as it does if you use the free version without the license. It just adds a delay. So you click the button, and then instead of immediately changing, it says, let's just wait 10 seconds. And then it changes.
So funny.
So you can completely test it out, make sure you have it set up, but then the whole point of it is that so you can immediately get to what you want to do. Make sure it's set up, make sure that it works, and then you're like, yes, I actually want to be able to do this without having to wait 10 seconds. Then you can just go buy the premium license.
You know, it's funny, Kavan. Can you stop sharing for a minute? I work with a lot of different types of people, and the one thing that is the most important thing you can teach anyone in the world today is to add a delay, because it makes everybody crazy. So the fact you put a delay in there is just so good, because I think it just makes people like, what made you think of that? That's so genius.
Well, it takes time to develop these apps. You know, I develop apps that I think will be useful, particularly to myself and to other people, but it takes time. I can't develop them completely for free. So I'm like, how can I find a way of monetizing this where people can still experience it? They can try it out to say, does this work for me? And then how can I say, okay,
how did you think of a delay out of all the things you could have done?
Well, because the primary purpose is to help you quickly get to what you want to do.
So you went to the pain point and accentuated it.
I'm not trying to accentuate the pain point. I'm trying to say.
No, but again, it's seriously, you have to admit, it's just genius. Someone's going to get the tool. They're going to love it. They're going to click and they're going to be like, oh, and they're going to get so used to it. They're going to be like, I'll buy it to not have this wait. I mean, you got a bit of smart. I'm sorry. You could do a whole session on smartly branding and making your apps premium.
Chris, I have an idea on how we could use it. Just to
Oh.
demo it on here is we could have it on the participants table in Daretable and open up to see what sessions you're going to.
Yes. So send us a premium license. We will install it this week, and next time we record,
Okay.
we'll demo it live on the Daretable app.
Okay. Well, the way it works actually is you give me your
That's right.
your app ID, and then I put it into. I actually store this in an Airtable base. I'll say, hey, this app ID gets this, and then I can tell you what the what your premium license is. So the license is tied to the specific app, the specific base, excuse me. So you can't use the same license across multiple bases without buying a new license for each base. But it does work. You can use it multiple times. Say you say, I want to use this and I want to have this button in 5 different tables. You can use the same license for all 5 different installations of it in the same base.
Ben, will you send her the base ID?
I have no idea how to get the base ID, but I just added it as an app.
The
You have
easiest
to
way to
go
add it is
to
you go
the
to your
API.
URL.
Yeah.
No, the easiest way,
app.
go to your web, go. Can you do it? Is it a base where you can do a screen share?
Yeah, it's everything after airtable.com. It's app dot blah 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 up to the first slash, right?
Not in the desktop app.
Okay, so if you're in the desktop app, go to the settings of my app. Right there, the ID of this base is app blah blah app blah blah blah.
Yeah, I can read it to you, Ben. It's app
There you go.
R as in Robert 0.
It's in
Yeah,
the
so
check.
just send that to me in chat. Just send it right now.
It should be. Yeah, I sent it to everybody.
We're doing real-time app installs.
Okay. And then go ahead and
Oh,
I'm gonna go hide everybody's emails first.
Yeah, and if you're going to do a speaker who's picked sessions, probably pick the test, not speaker, pick the test user, which that person's name is Daretable. Oh, I can't remember.
let's see. What do you want the name for your license to be? Let's see. This is
We just sold another ticket. Or I just got paid from someone.
okay. So in chat, I sent you back what to place in for your license.
Sweet. Daretable.
I don't think you're supposed
Nobody
to
else
say that
uses
part out loud.
It doesn't matter if anyone else tries to type that in. It's just going to say, "Hey, I don't recognize this license."
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But can you make an error message when someone types it in? I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. Just my voice. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want.
You know, I've been trying to figure out what are the different ways of getting an app to play a sound file. And I can get it to play a sound file, but I can't get it to autoplay.
Well, the one Aaron uses all the time plays a sound, doesn't it? When the confetti.
Yeah,
goes
that
off?
changes. Yeah, that's the Chime app. But it only does it when a trigger based on what a person does.
Hmm.
All right, so here we have myself. And I first need to create a collaborator field.
A collaborator field.
Base design.
And turn on, I'll go back to the settings.
Of the app.
Of the collaborator
The
field.
collaborator
Turn on
field.
the allow adding multiple collaborators, and you probably want to turn off notify collaborators, because the app edits that field and you don't care that you've been added to a new record, because that's not what the purpose of that one is. So that's all the settings for that. Yeah. And then go into which is the child's table.
It would be sessions.
Okay, let's go to sessions, and then create a lookup field that's going to look up the collaborator field.
Okay, let me make sure I can share everything in the view that I'm going into.
Okay.
Actually, I don't see why. I don't see anything.
I think the sessions are fine. It's just a schedule of events. There might be some emails that I pull in. So just go to the end or the beginning when you do the lookup. So I do pull in the speaker emails and the embeds and things. Everybody's getting to see my handiwork.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're going to have to create a new view anyway. So just create a new view and then hide all of the fields and then just selectively show whatever you want.
People can always tell when it's my base. It's got big pitches.
And what fields would I need to
So
add?
you-
I would need to have.
So
Look up.
show whatever you want, but then you're going to need to create a lookup field.
What's that field called?
I think you just called it collaborator.
There we go.
Okay. Then you go back into the My One Record app. Oh, wait. Sorry. One thing on the child tab, you have to create the filter. Yes, you need to change the filter where the collaborator is and not private. Okay. Now you can go in and you select your tables and your field and your view.
My one record. There can only be
Oh,
one.
settings.
Settings, yeah. So trigger table.
Nobody copy that. Trigger table would be people.
And then your collaborator field. And then go ahead to, in the settings, you need to pick your view table. So where the view
Third-
table
third
tab,
over. Yep.
yeah. And then the child table, and then the one that's filtered.
And then hit done.
And then done, that's it.
Call this app from a button.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, you got to create the button field.
All good. I like the instructions.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
it?
really hate how you have to scroll to see open custom app. Like you do that drop down and you see these lists. And when you first do the drop down, you don't see open custom app. You have to scroll down to see it.
Why is it considered a custom app when it's like, why not just app? Because Page Designer is also an app.
It's based on the history of how these apps were created and that there are third-party apps.
All right, the big reveal.
Yay.
That's awesome. Now I can see everything about me over here. There's my email. You can take my
And you're going to want to go in and probably limit, because remember in the My One Record, you can say what field you want to see or don't see.
You have
I
to go
don't
to the
care. It's
settings.
just about me. People can see anything about me.
Yeah.
This one's me.
But if you wanted to do that, you can go into settings for the app and then the fields in preview.
There you
And
go.
if you want to do, like, usually probably what you want to do is you want to just scroll a little bit down and then to hide all, and then just select, you know, whichever ones are the ones you want the most.
That's cool.
Honestly, when I first created the app, I was like, I just wanted to switch views. And I said, well, I've got this real estate that's going to be here. I might as well show something useful. So I thought, well, let's just show something about whatever that record that you clicked on.
Nice. That's so cool.
Thank you for the
Kavan, on the site for the awards, enter My One Record. And then vote for it.
I'll let someone else nominate me.
Okay.
Okay.
You're so modest.
Yeah, Chris, are you in the you're a collaborator for that base as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could go in and you create your own filtered view, and then you can just click that button and it'll work the same for you. Just make sure that you pick your filtered view in the settings.
Exactly. Yeah. I would pick Ben's and blow it up. I try not to demo things that I haven't done extensively. But this is cool. I think this is a perfect use case of, by the way, what does this thing run? What is it, like $10 a month?
So all of mine are a one-time fee.
Oh.
You one-time fee. There's no subscription. I don't even remember exactly what it is.
I bet it's cheap. You price everything so reasonably.
I mean, I can
Ben,
look it up.
Ben, with your new view, I have to say it's weird because, like with Kavan and I, we're always in this static, timeless world. We get to see the sunset with you.
It used to be, it was light at the beginning of the call.
I know. I saw the sun earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Kavan, that is amazing. App number 7. Have you thought about just bundling all your apps together and selling like a master license?
Like mini extensions?
You know, I thought about it. I like that would require changing up my back end for handling how I do the licenses. And there's a lot of things where you're not necessarily going to want, you know, one particular app versus the other one, that there's a lot of different utilities. And they're one time. You know, you want this, you buy it once, you say, I want to use it in this space. So it's not like a subscription. If it were a subscription model, then I think it'd probably be more important to have, you know, some kind of a system where you could bundle things together, but it's completely a la carte.
I love it. I think it's, but I look at stuff like this and I'm like, my gosh, you've got so much talent and the things you just pull out of anywhere. Hello, Rebecca. Rebecca is here, everyone. I don't know about you guys, but when Rebecca joined just now, the first thing I thought was this. That was my first. I thought she's gonna literally start spelling stuff out on the walls with those lights.
My son, he actually, funny story, you said that this is felt, and I cut out like 200 felt letters.
Oh, it's a felt wall.
Yeah, so they
awesome
fixed to felt. So
see? Now you look at her lights in that felt wall and tell me we do not have this going on. And tell me Rebecca does not look like she might be from Stranger Things.
What's so never seen Stranger Things. My husband's like into it and I haven't seen it, so the joke's like way over my head, but it is very uncanny.
Very, very cool. Rebecca, you missed all the updates, I think, on the conference, but it's going good.
Very beginning, just
okay.
In the week.
I thought I'd, you know, guys, I like to bring my little project. So I have a new project. I think I showed you Magical Houston last time, where I scraped Google Street View for Houston and got every metaphysical store in Houston to create an app so I could literally go to candle and crystal stores because, well, why wouldn't you? This week, I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. We're buying a second house in upstate New York. And of course, I had to build a base to find this house. And you know, to me, like, you know, we're using the web scraper. So like whenever we find a house we like on Zillow, I just go in here to the web scraper. You can see all my different web clippers, but there's one in here for home. It just pulls in the home information, allows me to get a little bit of information about the different homes I'm looking at, stuff I care about. But the problem was when we went to New York, this is not very, you guys know, mobile friendly. Is it okay to say Airtable's not that mobile friendly?
Airtable is.
The other problem is we have all of our, you know, assets, which are our current house and the houses we're looking at buying, and we've got all of our documents, and our documents are for the banker and the realtor and like that. So I built the home relocation project app on Pori, and again, it was super simple for us. These were end up being the houses we ended up being our finalists. So these are the ones we're bidding on right now. But I put a quick break in here. So when we're going through it, I just wanted to, there were hundreds of houses here to sort them, to look by the number of land. But I built an integration to our calendar. So our realtor would know which houses we were seeing on which days in New York, and a map, of course, a map view. So we can come in here and actually see where the finalists were. If you go into one of our house records while you were in New York, it has this great little record lookup where we could click on GPS and drive to the next appointment. Pretty cool. We could then write a review of the house. So why we were in the house, what did we like about it, what didn't we like, et cetera, like that. And then all of those reviews got stuck down as a record attachment. So pictures we took while we were there, its status, was it ready to go? What was the mood of the house, the uniqueness? And what this did was it really enabled us to have like a really active way of looking for houses and thinking about what's important to us. But even cooler was because of our money, our banker and our realtor and everyone else, if they needed documents from us, I used the back end again. So they log into the Pori system. And then once they're logged in, they actually get sections to a document. So if they need a picture of our driver's license or any type of identity, if they need any financial records. The bank needed to have remodeling plans for one of the houses we're considering buying. So I just uploaded the remodeling plans. They can come in here, they can download them, see how we're working on it. So the whole thing turned out so good without me having to send hundreds of emails back and forth. Here's this document. Where's this contract? What day are we seeing this house? What did we think of that house? Do you remember this one room? We go to the house, we bring it up, we look at the attachment, look at the review, and yes. So that was this past couple weeks project. What do you think?
I feel like the world's worst daughter right now because my mom just started to close on her house, and I probably should have done something like that for her. I wish I would have seen this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I mean, looking for houses. Come on, have you ever looked for a house?
No, I haven't. I've been in the same house that I've been in for over 20 years now. But honestly, the first thing that I thought was that's amazing and wonderful. The second thing I thought is you've got other people in your life that are willing and supportive. You say, I want to make a base to track all of this, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
I wish I could get my kids to like my kids. I say they want to do something, and I'm like, we could have an Airtable base and we can track this and all of this, and they're like, no, Mom, I don't want an Airtable.
I'll be honest with you, it didn't used to. No one ever wanted to use bases, and Rebecca would tell you. Rebecca uses Pori. Once I started using Pori's so good with mobile. It's like you don't know you're using an Airtable base. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, I think you're right. I am lucky to have people who will use it. My husband actually is doing a job hunt right now, and he actually has a base for his job hunt. The other night I helped him with his base because he wanted to be able to know, like track like which jobs he'd actually followed up on versus which jobs he hadn't followed up on, also the kind of stuff. He also was getting confused about like which resume do I send? Do I send a resume that makes me look this way or a resume that looks that? So obviously we built him a base where he could just come in here and list all the jobs he's applied for. It links out to the documents he's actually sent them. So he knows which version of everything he sent. But then the other night we went ahead and built in this effort level. So if he just submitted it to the web versus did he follow up with a phone call, which is did he close for an interview? But again, it's just one of these things where I don't know about you guys, but like a lot of young people today, they'll just like put in all these resumes, like, and they don't go anywhere, and you have no accountability. And to me, it's just like, no, it's just like, I don't know. I feel so bad for young people because no one called you back. No.
Well, the one thing that I'm learning too through this whole process is like, if you don't have a LinkedIn, your resume doesn't matter.
He learned that lesson hard. Hard did he learn that lesson. Yep. And it's weird because I don't like LinkedIn, but apparently people just live on freaking LinkedIn. I do not get it at all. It just blows my mind, but whatever.
Has anybody been in the LinkedIn Airtable group since they started that?
Is there an Airtable group on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Gareth from Gap is.
LinkedIn like partnered with Gareth to start it, from what I could tell.
If I go to LinkedIn and go to Airtable, I'll find a group.
You should. I haven't been on there. I joined it.
Airtable product community?
Yep.
Or Airtable users?
Airtable product community is technically it. Based on the growth of membership, it seems like it's fizzled out, but I can share what's going on in there if I can.
Can you
find
get
the
inside
group.
it? Yeah, I'm not a member. I don't know. I mean, people like, to me, in my book, Don't Unplug, How Technology Saved My Life, I Can Save Yours Too, I actually call LinkedIn white collar 4chan because it's creepy. There's like all these old white men are always like talking to girls, and like when they girl post a picture or something, it's so stalkerish and just unsanitary. I hate it. Sorry to go on a rant. But like to me, LinkedIn doesn't feel safe. Oh, is this it?
Here's
Nathan.
Daretable UK.
Nice. Oh, someone's interested.
Nice. Good post.
Man, you're so bad. You're so bad. So what type of stuff gets posted on LinkedIn? Besides like our stuff, is it possible for Airtable to receive? Okay. So actual questions like our group. Okay. So this is how many places can you can be in an Airtable group in every part of the world there is, I guess. I mean, LinkedIn, Facebook. We haven't done a Twitter space on it yet. That was a good show.
This table talk.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did we do
When is-
Rebecca?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
When is the
Rebecca, did
next
you go to
table
that
talk?
table talk with Peter Dang?
Yeah, I listened in the background. I don't know. I kind of felt like we kind of knew a lot of that, but maybe
Yeah, I
I
just thought it was nice of him to come on and like spill the tea a little bit.
people, I don't know.
Here's
What did you
Gareth
think about it?
sparking conversations.
Yeah.
Actually, I think just still upset about a lot of things and expected resolution from things that we didn't get.
Yeah.
Who was it when they first released Interface Designer that told us what we were wanting? They never promised us, and we had expectations that weren't met, so we were very upset and very vocal that we were upset. I feel
Well,
like there's
I definitely, mentioned that a few times because what people thought that interface designer was going to be was a Pori, a stacker, even maybe mini extensions or something like that. And they literally never said that. They said you will create your own view. And they did that. I wish my big thing with that is I wish they would have switched the timing for conditional automations and interface designer and started with this gallery option, this multi-line chart, the things that they just released right now. I wish that this was the releasing of interface designer.
I still haven't played with them. Has anyone played with multi-line or I guess the gallery view or anything?
I've played with the record grouping for the record lists, and that's definitely a game changer for us. It greatly enhances usability for our use case. The gallery also, same thing. These seem like they should have been core features to begin with. And maybe it would have felt more complete.
I recently added to my journal app charts for my mental health and focus and exercise, nutrition, etc. And one of the things I found, and maybe there's a way around this, is these charts cannot handle duration. I had to make everything an integer and like round everything to straight minutes to get it to work. So if
duration fields are under the hood are seconds.
So if I had just focused on this, okay, that makes more sense.
or are we probably putting like our minutes and seconds and milliseconds, Kuvan? So
like if you were to look at the way the duration field is, it's everything stored as seconds, and then you can actually get to, the tenths of a second, hundredths of seconds. Those are decimals on it. So it's stored underneath the hood as a decimal number that represents the number of seconds.
That makes sense.
Does anyone have a gallery or a multi-line you can share so I can see how they work?
I have something that is probably more exciting than that. Than the gallery or multi-line. I remember that, but I also remembered I had this thing from Airtable because I had just inquired about enterprise, and what is more interesting, and this is directly in the lines of visualizations, which is how the gallery and the double line chart made me think of this. So Airtable sent me this, and what I noticed was the format of their base actions that they sent. So these are like new and potentially different permissions.
Okay, you've got the real tea.
Chris, do you know like what type of platform would you get a visualization like this in?
Greg.
This feels like a spreadsheet to me.
I thought it looked like Excel personally.
Oh, that's not a good look.
But this was also the news. I got this. I just inquired about Airtable Enterprise because I got like probably 20 emails from this one guy. I'm not going to name him, to sign up for a call with him. So I signed up for a call with him. And I think from Airtable's point of view, when they look at my account, because I have all my clients share with me, they're like, and I can actually show you this email. They're like, you have a terrible design because I have like 50 different workspaces and you have overlapping collaborators on each one of them and you're paying way too much. So I like inquired about enterprise and they sent me all this information.
Pricing you got back actually ended up being that bad. Like didn't you and I figure basically we could get an enterprise license and it would be a couple grand a year?
Yeah. And I shot them kind of high, so I would ideally be prioritized in their sales cycle. Which is how I think it's like $62 for what they call a builder, but this was her response. I think it would be of tremendous value. You have 50 workspaces because they can't see what I do, I guess. And after going through 2 levels of enterprise sales, nobody, I guess, bothered to look up my domain or my name or anything.
Find out who you are.
Yeah.
Well, you might be in 50 workspaces.
Scroll back down there for a second. There was a really interesting line the way they worded that.
Was it?
Go out of there for a second. Scroll back down right there. I love this line. On enterprise plan, you're not paying for how many people are living within a workspace. You're paying for how many people have access to your enterprise account. That's an interesting way to say that I think that foreshadows the future. Go ahead with the pricing.
Yeah, with enterprise, because you can have multiple workspaces within that. So like right now, if you had 2 workspaces and they're both pro and you had someone in both of them, you're paying for them twice. But
yeah,
I think that if enterprise was more transparent about this is how you can sign up and this is how much it costs, I think it might be a little bit easier for people to make that jump, because especially some of the security features of knowing what's going on and like, wait a minute, who's deleting fields in my base? That can be really useful information.
Yeah, so ultimately that's one of the reasons why I reached out to enterprise, because
here we go. The minimum annual fee is almost.
I didn't have anything that I could share that wasn't privately shared with me, but this is public. Like I just went through their sales process and found this out, and I inquired. I think it was probably in their medium range of enterprise customers with the amount of collaborators that I have. Then I was like, okay, what's my minimum cost? Like if I lower, what's like the least amount of collaborators you'd take, which is this, what you're seeing on the screen right here. And then I think I also inquired to see like, what is the next tier? So you can see this is there, but this is their pricing per seat. This would be I'll go back to it, but this is builder and this is contributor. And I think she didn't say, but I think this is a cost savings, maybe savings quote.
Can you show me the permissions model one more time?
Yeah.
For builder and contributor, because now that I know
well, this is only available to enterprise right now.
Yeah, but I mean, if someone's got an extra $9,000 laying around and they want to have 4 builders and 16 contributors, what are they getting?
Yeah. So it's basically just like creators and owners are merged into builders, I think, and editors are merged into contributors.
So the main thing that you get is with the enterprise features is you get things like you can have permissions where instead of just having to go in and individually say who can do what, you can do like, okay, here's a group of people. So you can give people roles and then assign permissions based on roles. So that it makes that a lot easier. There's a lot better reporting as far as, like what kind of bases do you have and who is making changes to your bases? Well, what's going on with that? This is a lot more of that management of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would kill for just a view that showed me everything that had a share. Like I want a share management system. Because a lot of times you'll share out a table and like you'll forget that you shared like a specific view. I just show me all my shares.
You actually can see that.
Where?
If you go out to your workspace level, you go to one base and you click share. Then there should be somewhere on there, it should be intuitive. You can see a list of all of your publicly shared links. But on this, I thought this was really awesome to see some, it seemed like they have it written down. So it's not like a floating number they're testing all the time. They at least have their pricing written down in Excel. Or something.
I still, I mean, I
using
still think
Excel.
it's interesting. So if you had, let's say you've got 10 friends, you could literally split the $9,000 to $900 a year, which is basically what you get for the Pro Starter Pack, and you get 100,000 records. You could add 6 more people and then 4 builders. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I said about the open-siders.
Oh, what is OpenSiders? Is that the same type of thing where they've got like one of these plans?
Yeah, that's like the little consultants group.
No, I don't know. I'm not a member of anything. I'm very low on the totem pole.
I suggest that I was shut down.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah. They even put my website and linked it, but I don't think they looked at it.
They are, I mean, remember, they've doubled in size. So yeah, that's good. We'll see. Apparently they're going to send me a couple speakers too for the conference. So there could be official Airtable speakers there. I've even asked them if we could have an Airtable person to run the live help desk, because at the conference we have a live help desk. So if you're coming to the conference, you can bring your problems, and there'll be someone hopefully from Airtable to help you.
Wow.
Wow.
They've been very, very generous with offering to help. It's been awesome.
Wonderfully generous. It's so amazing. I've been so helpful. I was so thankful. This is what a great, I mean, Kavan, congratulations on my one record. One record.
Thank you.
Ben, congratulations on the snooping on the enterprise pricing.
I'm
Rebecca,
happy I can share.
felt wall magic. Thank you for sharing the felt wall magic.
I'm happy I can't not share.
Anything else going on that we need to catch up on between now and the next time we guys meet?
What is the next time?
It will be.
Well, we
in
have been
2
meeting every,
Wednesdays.
yeah, we have been meeting every other Wednesday. But Ben, I think between now and the end of the conference, let's try to ramp it up to once a week if you can. But if not, we'll just see everyone in 2 weeks. But kind of keep, because there's so many moving parts to this show.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of updates over the coming week, especially. So maybe to keep everybody updated, we could do that. I'll put out a Facebook post as far as what next week looks like, but it's guaranteed to be 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and
We'll
on the
have the
16th,
conference,
I'm
or-
out anyway. I mean, I'll try to be here, but I'm going to be in Orlando. I'm hosting hymns again.
Oh
Exciting
yeah,
stuff.
on the 16th. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it either.
Right?
I think
It'll
the
just be me
rodeo is
and
going to be
Rebecca.
in.
Awesome. All right. If we don't have anything else, I think we're going to cut it out here, and we will see everybody probably next week, seeing as how nobody can make it on the 16th. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Can we vogue out?
All right. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for thank you for sharing my one record. Thank you all for sharing all of your thoughts and insights, and we'll see you in 1 week. Bye-bye.